What's up, all you beautiful, gorgeous, sexy people out there? Welcome back to some more NBA 2K14, my GM with the Utah Jazz. Now, guys, I know I promised I would have one more regular season game for you guys, but there's been a change of plans. I'm going to do a playoff preview in this episode, which means we're going to preview the playoffs, look back at the regular season, look at some of the stats, look at the rewards given out, and all of that awesome stuff. So first off, we're looking at the most valuable player. Of course, LBJ, the king, won the most valuable player. Now, guys, if we face the Heat in the playoffs, which would be in the championship game, I have a feeling we're going to get decimated. We're going to get dominated. We're going to get obliterated. Because when I faced them in the regular season, they annihilated me by a score of like 10 points, double-digit figures every single time. But we haven't faced them since we made our major trades. So let's advance. Let's look at the Rookie of the Year, which went to Michael Carter Williams. Now, guys, we also had Trey Burke in the race for Rookie of the Year, and I don't know how Michael Carter Williams beat him out. I think Michael Carter Williams only had like 8 points per game or something like that. There is no way he beat out Trey Burke. I'm calling shenanigans on that. I'm calling that some BS. I want to recount. So let's look at Sixth Man of the Year. That went to Leonardo Barbosa, which is of the Phoenix Suns. I've never heard of you in my life, man. Never heard of you ever. Alright, Defensive Player of the Year went to Andre Drummond. I could see that, even though we also had someone in the race for Defensive Player of the Year, which was, I believe Favors was in the race for that, and I think he should have won, because he was having blocks every game. He was denying people, but then again, Andre Drummond, I think he averaged 10 rebounds per game, which is absurd, especially because he's either a second-year player or a rookie player. So let's go on to Most Improved, which went to Gerald Green of the Phoenix Suns, and Gerald Green in this game is OP as hell. Whenever you play with the Phoenix Suns, just pass to Gerald Green. He can do whatever you want. He can do anything you want. So let's go to All-NBA First Team. You have Derrick Rose, which should have been injured because he had an MCL tear. Come on, dude. That's unrealistic. He wasn't out there on crutches or anything. And then you have the Oklahoma City Thunder, represented by Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, Dwight Howard, and of course LBJ. So let's look at the second team. Hold on a second, I screwed that up completely. Let's go back and look at the second team All-NBA. Right here, we have DeMarcus Cousins, LaMarcus Aldridge, Josh Smith, Chris Paul, and of course John Wall. Third team, Chris Bosh, Kevin Love, they call me Dr. Love, Eric Bledsoe, Tyreek Evans, and Kemba Walker. So we had nobody at all on our team was in an All-NBA. They weren't even All-Stars. Come on now, that's some disrespect. All-NBA First Team, our All-Defensive First Team. Let's go. We got LaMarcus Aldridge, of course, and then there we go. We're representing. Look at Derek Favors, represent. And then you have John Wall, Eric Bledsoe, and Andre Drummond. Let's go. Defensive Second Team, Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Davis, Dwight Howard. Look at that. Okay. Now all rookie, right? There we go. We're in the all rookie, and look, we're represented by Trey Burke. No, those Trey. Anthony Bennett's in there. Cody Zeller, Nerlens Noel. Alright, and then Coach of the Year is, of course, Tom Thibodeau. So let's back out of this, and guys, let's see who we're going to play in the first round of the playoffs. As you can see in the background, we're facing off against the San Antonio Spurs, the team that won the championship this year. We're facing off against them. That's crazy. That's absurd. We could lose. We could definitely lose. I have no idea. Where is it at? I'm looking for the playoff tree. Oh, here we go. Let's look at the playoff tree. There we go. We got the Spurs against us. The winner of that, if we go on and we advance, we're going to face the winner of the Thunder and the Golden State Warriors. And the Thunder would be a terrible matchup for us. They're youthful. They're athletic. They can run up and down the court. I can't guard Russell Westbrook to save my life. If I was drowning, if I was in a pool of sharks with freaking laser beams, I would not be saved if it were dependent on if I could beat them. So I definitely don't want to face the Thunder. Then you have the Rockets and the Nuggets, the Clippers and the Kings. So that takes care of the West, and that could be, the West is definitely a gauntlet. If we can get through the Spurs and the Thunder, I have a good feeling that we're going to make it to the championship if we can get past those two teams. So let's look at the East. The East, you have the Heat versus the Knicks, the Nets versus the Pistons, which is absurd because the Pistons aren't that great in real life. Well, they're not winning, or they're not in the playoffs, so to speak. And then you have the Wizards and the Cavs definitely aren't in the playoffs. That's a joke. And then you have, of course, the Bulls and the Pacers. So that the East isn't really scary. The only team I'm scared of in the East is probably the Heat, and that's definitely some team we don't want to face if we make it into the championship. But I'll take on anyone. Just bring it. So let's go back, guys. And there's the Spurs. You see them. Let's look at some attributes. Actually, you know what? Let's look at stats for this season. So far, this season, for our team, let's see if we can advance here to the Jazz. Here we go. Klay Thompson's leading us in scoring with 18.9 points per game, which is definitely truthful. I mean, he's been dropping bombs all season. He has an 82 in offense overall. You have Tobias Harris with 16.7 points a game. Alec Burke is trailing him with 15.1, and then Trey Burke. And then, of course, you have my big twin towers right here leading us also. Now, I want to look at the Spurs real quick so you can see the matchup that we're going to have against them. You know, Tony Duncan looks pretty much injured. It looks like he has that red circle injury looking thing. So we're not really, hopefully if he doesn't play, then I'm pretty solid and pretty set that we can beat them down low in the post, just banging bodies. You know, get all sweaty and manly. Ew. That's gross. All right, Tony Parker, he's going to be a challenge for us to face. Tony Parker is definitely going to be a challenge for us to face because he's quick, he's versatile, he can do that floater game. He has a bunch of attributes. He's a 93 in offense, and I can't really guard any point guard in this game. And then you have, of course, Ginobili, the third member of their big three. Looks like Patty Mills, and then you have Sugar K Leonard, as Shaq calls him. Tristan Thompson's actually on their team. Thiago Splitter, I believe he's injured too. So definitely we want to go down low when we face them. This is a team we traded to get Boris Diaw and I believe Bellinelli. So let's back out, guys. There's a few more things I wanted to show you. First off, let's look at our roster and how much we've improved our rotation. Look, Trey Burks went up 4. That's awesome. Klay Thompson's went up 5. And we have 3-3. Look at that, Roy Hibbert. You know what? I'm going to be wanting to trade him later in the offseason, hopefully. And then everyone else has pretty much gone up substantially. Either at the lowest 3. Jefferson doesn't hurt because he's on a day-to-day injury, so he doesn't really count. So let's go back. Let's look at our attributes for this season, or so far that we've gotten. Looks like coaching, I've gone all the way up to 7 or 6. I mean, training, I know I've boosted this up and I fired the trainer just so we can get healthy and stay healthy. And scouting, I haven't really done anything with this because I'm not too bothered with it or too worried about it. Salary negotiation, I haven't really advanced even more or any at all. I know trade, I almost have up all the way. I definitely want to increase our trade for the offseason. Business savvy, it's kind of up there. Alright, let's look at the special abilities. I purchased this for no reason. It was just to use that VC, that extra VC laying around. And I definitely wanted to use this. Increase our stuff and our influence in contract negotiations, trade influence. Because as I said, I want to be able to trade in the offseason, get rid of Hibbert and trade away him in order to get some pieces, or to get some draft picks, clear cap space, all of that stuff, in order to where we can get maybe LeBron, maybe we can get the King, or we can get, you know, Carmelo Anthony or someone else in here, a big star, to help create a dynamic team, a dominating team. So guys, when we face the Spurs, that's going to be the next episode. We're going to face off against the San Antonio Spurs, and they're going to be a great matchup, and that's going to come at you guys next week. So until then, remember, I love you. I love you guys, okay? I love you. And stay frosty. Get ready for the playoffs, baby. Playoffs!